and welcome back to our channel. This week I am going to take over and make a video on using Adobe Illustrator. Only last week we made this video of this pool scene which had some flowers floating on top, and we got a lot of people who were really curious how we made it and wanted to see a tutorial. So this week I'm here to show you how I made the design using Adobe. I'm going to only use the default feature, so you don't have to worry about using any extra script or anything like that. The only thing that I would say, I'm using the most recent version of Adobe, which is Adobe 2025. You might want to update if you haven't done that, but I'm sure that even in the previous versions they had this tool, the few tools that I will be using, so that should be all right. And let me show you which illustration I'm talking about. This is the water illustration I did last week, and I just made this as like a fun illustration that I wanted to make for the day, and so many people liked it, and I was highly requested to recreate it. So today I'm going to do just that. Follow me through, make this illustration with me as well. I would be really happy if you can show me once this is done and all of your creations. Yeah, okay, let's go on. So this is your artboard. This is obviously not a beginner tutorial, but if you are a beginner, you can still follow through, and I'll try and explain everything as clearly as I can. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us or message me down to the comments or anything like that, and I can help you out. So first I'm going to change the ratio of the artboard. So because we make a lot of these videos for our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube shorts, I'm going to go for 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. These are some of the colors we're going to use. You see this rectangle tool here on the left hand panel. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to change the color. I'm actually just going to use the color picker tool and pick this color. You don't have to go with this color. I'm just going with this as like a reference color. I might change it in the future when I finish the illustration, but I'm going to just drag it all across the artboard because I like to work with a base color on the back. I also like to use layers a lot in any of my illustrations, so I'm going to just separate it out. I'm going to carry this down. I'm going to change the name of the layer and call it background. I'm gonna just click. So this is keep this selected by clicking on it. Now you see on the right side it shows which layer it is currently on, and you see that blue dot. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just hold it and drag it down, so now it's on the background layer, and then I'm gonna lock it. I should have done another thing, but I didn't. But what I would do is then unlock it. So sometimes you do this. Then if you want to duplicate the same layer, I will go for Control copy, and then if you want to paste it at the exact same point, you do Control Shift and V. That will be, you got two duplicates now on the same point. Now similarly to how I moved the background color on the first layer, which was the background layer, I'm going to move it up, which is now on the first layer, and lock the background layer again. So I still have the two variations, but I want to use this to make a grid. Now in order to make a grid, so for us to get these wavy texture, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna change the color actually just to make it easier. I'm gonna go for a lighter blue, and I'm gonna change it to, okay, yeah, let's go for a lighter blue. This lighter blue, you can see the difference. It's just to show like swirls in the water. Keep it selected, go on object, and then go on path, and then go on split into grid. Now based on how many squares you want and how many ripples you want, how many details and ripples you want, you can change it according to your liking. So I'm gonna go for about 14 rows, and then I'm gonna go for 8. Very close. I would, let's see if I just make it 15 or make it no, I think 14 is good. It doesn't have to be completely square, but I do like it. So now you see how we got these beautiful squares split uniformly all across the board. And the next thing I will do is on the left hand panel, you see this swap fill and stroke. You can also just use Shift X, but I just like to go and click the button. So I click this swap option. So now it has changed my fill into a stroke. I will just increase on the right hand panel again. I will increase the size of my stroke, and I like how this looks. I'm gonna go with that. Now you see how I made these swirly lines. That's how we did it. And because it's not affected by the background, so we can go on and do whatever we want with it. Another thing I would do, if you want to change and alter the thickness, you can. I'm gonna go for a strictness, I think 4 is too thick. I'm gonna go for 3, stroke thickness 3, and I'm gonna, okay, because it's still a stroke, I'm gonna change it. It changes properties. Gonna go object, expand, fill. So now it's all shapes now, but these shapes are filled shapes and not stroke lines. I'm gonna go ahead and just combine them all. So using, oh, let me show you again. I'm just gonna go, I just clicked on the pathfinder and clicked on the compound shape button. So the compound shape, what it does is make this as a completely independent shape of itself. So now if you add any stroke to it, it will be strokes that is added above this shape. So it's like any shape that you would make on Adobe Illustrator. Let me know if you get confused or anything at any point in the tutorial, and by writing down in the comments, and I can clarify things more. So now this is the first point done. I'm gonna go around and play a bit with the colors. Gonna see which color I like. I think I like this more. I'm gonna keep it more vibrant. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. If you want to go ahead and make any changes to it, you can, because after this we're gonna distort it. So let me just have a look if I want to make any changes. I'm gonna have a look at it again. I'm pretty happy with all of this, but you know, don't worry about it. Even if you want to add more thickness to it, you can still go on and add a stroke to it and make it thicker, and then you can again like combine and expand it and make it into an object, which will be just as fine. Another thing I think I have noticed is I want it to be even more bright. You can obviously change the color at any time, so don't worry about that. Now select this all again. Now if you go on the left panel again, click on these 3 dots here, and now we go down on the modify options and we click on this twirl tool. So now initially when you'll see the twirl tool, you see the circle around the cursor. This was the default size of the twirl is. So we got a nice twirl, and you can see it. Let me just select it and let me zoom in. This is a very nice twirl that we have just created using the twirl tool, but it's just too small and you can't even see. I'm just thinking about it in a way that people will look at it from this distance and I can't see it. So I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna go back, go again on the twirl tool, and now you see it's been added here on my taskbar. You can obviously drag it in and just pin it there if you want, but I don't use it as often, so I don't do that. I'm gonna double click on it, and now I'm gonna select a different width and height for this. I'm gonna go for 300 pixels each and then see how big it looks. I think I want to go for bigger. I'm gonna go for 400 pixels instead. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna just, as I done in this previous section, that's what I'm gonna do here. Okay, now that you have the twirl tool selected, I'm gonna just go and just use it anywhere that you like. Don't worry about it. Don't do too much of it. Just be a bit more fluid with it. Let me try it again. Let me show you this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, yeah, and let's go for this. Oh no, that's too much. Okay, undo, and I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, let's see it now. Let's go back and select the selection tool. Go back. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So these 3 main twirls as we have it right here as well. Now I'm gonna go back on the 3 dots menu and then click on this wrap tool. The wrap tool, now because we have already changed the default size of the brush, it is still the same size. So I'm gonna just make sure that you have everything selected, and then we go and select the wrap tool, and now we just drag it again. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't have to be the same. Don't worry about it. It's not even the same as I had made it last time. So that will be different because we're making a new design work. Okay, so don't worry about it too much. I'm going to decrease the size of it because I want to add some. I'm going to go for 200 pixels. 200 pixels. Going to go for some changes here. Maybe. Is that too much? Actually, I'm gonna keep it 300. And then I'm just going to do some more changes, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Just a little bit, moving it a bit around, just to give it more body, even playing around with this shape. And don't worry about it going out of the artboard. When you export the design work, it will not show anything which is outside the artboard. So don't worry about it. All right, let's see what it looks like, and if you're happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. What do you think? So I might go and add a few more twirls. If you don't want to, that's all right too. I'm just gonna gently like ploop, press it. Poop. Oh, that's too much. So be careful when you use it. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Oh, that's too much again. We're gonna go with 400 back again. And then just add some twirls here. Add some twirl. Oh. I'm just gonna keep those twirly bits there. All right. So yeah, that's it. And that's all the twirly bits I'm gonna add. If I want to change something in this, I will probably just change the color of it a bit. But right now, we're not gonna do that now. So now, again, as I did, because I use a lot of layers, I'm gonna change the name to Water Reflection 1. So the reason I named it 1 is because we will have another type of reflection eventually. So lock that layer, and I'm gonna add another layer in between the background and the water reflection layer. So what you see in this illustration is also, I wanted to add like it was kind of like an implied end of a pool, because that's what I wanted to make initially. So that's what we're gonna make next. So don't worry about the design too much. We're just here to have fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the start with the rectangle, make it the size of the artboard, and I'm gonna go in properties and center align it just to make sure it is the right size. Because it's still the same color as the thing, I'm gonna add it, make it the same color as the background, and now I'm gonna add some darkening effect to it. Yep, just a bit, maybe just a bit more, just a tiny bit more, smudge a bit. And you can make it any color if you want. It can be literally any color, because this is just a pool. If you think about it, pools come in all different colors. You can have tiles, you can have it however you want, but I didn't want to make it too complicated. So go into the direct selection tool now, and I will select this end of my rectangle, press shift, and then press the right arrow key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 times. And then do the same on the other side. Press and hold shift, left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now you have a trapezium. I don't know if they do trapezium. I guess they don't. So this side I'm going to keep it longer. The other side I'm going to just press Alt and then click and drag. Don't leave Alt, because otherwise it will just move the original shape and not make a duplicate copy. I'm going to take the angle, put it at 180. So nice tilted, and drag it down here. You can make sure that it is completely on the end of the path by pressing middle line and then vertical line bottom. So yeah. Another thing that I did was to drag it down so it's not exactly in the middle of the pool, just to add a bit of asymmetry in it. And the last thing I would do is add the sides. So if you think about it, it's a pretty narrow pool. That's what I was imagining when I was thinking about it, like a 1-point perspective pool. I went for something lighter. You can do that as well, but you can go for something darker. I'm just gonna go with something lighter and maybe a bit more different color, just a little bit, just to try it out. Now I'm gonna again make a similar rectangle, then click on it, right click. You have this drop down menu, open up, click on arrange, and then send back. And I don't really like the color. I'm thinking I'm gonna go again, select the same color as the other trapezium, and then just make it a bit lighter. maybe just a bit, maybe a bit lighter. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, I'll go with this one. And then I'm gonna do as I did before, press Alt and then drag it. Don't leave it until you reach the endpoint. Make sure that you're touching the edges, and if you're not sure if it is, so make sure you come on the align part and then click on horizontal and align left. So that is all the colors in the background ready for you. So now we have a background scene, which is like a 1 point perspective of the end and the depth of the pool. Then we have the swirls on top. Now next thing was adding these reflections on top of water. So I'm gonna go again on top. This is your water reflection 2 layer. I'm gonna change the name, water reflection 2. Also, at any point if you have any confused, feel free to comment down below, and I'm gonna make sure to answer your questions or make another tutorial on anything that you were confused about. So the next part is the main reflections that you see over here, just underneath the flowers. So the next thing we're gonna do is add these reflections on top. So to get this, I'm gonna just click on the rectangle again and drag to make the same shape, keeping it lighter than the background colors because it's gonna act like a reflection. I'm gonna now use the erase tool and just randomly start to erase things. Randomly just start to erase the shapes, make new shapes. Just go ham here, do whatever you want, but make sure whenever you do make a shape like this, like this, like this, like this. If you want, you can also increase the thickness of your rubber so you make more defined shapes, I would say, but you don't have to. Obviously, do what you can and however you can. Make this as unique for yourself as possible, but if not, you can also just follow as I'm doing it. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back and select this on the 3 dots, edit toolbar. I'm gonna click on the wrap tool, which again is Shift plus R, and I have to increase the size again. So I'm gonna increase it to 250 pixels, sorry, this time, and just make it a bit swirly. It's like this. Oh, didn't select all of them. I'm gonna do it again. Just make it swirly, just like that, and that's it. That is all you want. Select it again, then go on Object, Path, Offset Path, and I'm gonna make a thick offset path so there's a lot of space in between. So maybe 20. I'm gonna go for -20. Also, the preview tool is really useful, so you can preview what your curves would look like before you actually said okay. But even if you end up saying okay, you can also just undo it at any point. And now the curves that I made, I'm going to delete a few of these just to add a unique shape to it. And I will just like this. If you find a better way to do this, please do let me know, because this is all I know how to do. But every time I do this, it gives me unique shapes, which you would expect if you are in water. I hope so. If not, then I think you should run. No, I'm joking. Okay, I think it's fine. I don't want it too many to overlap, so I might just rub some out or make some a bit smaller. They shouldn't have overlapped. I think I just didn't do a good job at deleting them, but I think this is mostly okay. Yeah, if you have any issues about doing this, you can also just use the pen tool to make all these shapes, or make different shapes. The reason I don't like to use the pen tool for this is because from what I've seen myself do, I always make the same kind of random shapes, which doesn't make it look like it's randomized at all. But now this looks very randomized, but it is still a bit edgy as in not like a punk rock edgy. So now obviously move it around a bit as well to make sure it covers the whole thing, but make sure it's all one shape. You don't want it to be different shapes, and I will tell you why in a bit. Actually, let me just tell you now, because we're going to use the gradient tool, and it will make it look like it's all one color. Otherwise we have to do the same gradient again and again for all the different parts, and you don't want to do that. That will be annoying. Also, if you don't like the video, don't leave me a dislike. You can dislike the other guy's videos. No, joking. I'm gonna add a gradient now to the whole thing. One more thing that will make this a lot easier to blend in with the background is to make it a compound path. To do that, go on Object, then go on Compound Path and Make. So now any color that you add will be added to the whole thing as like a whole, which was happening already with the group, but I'll show you what I mean. Let me add a blue to it. So made it a bit lighter. Now I'm gonna add a gradient. Just gonna go with a linear gradient on it, and now you see, if you had all of these and not as a compound path but as like a separate objects, you would have to do a gradient for each of those objects separately, but now you cannot just do it as one go. And I like to do it in an angle, because in a way I'm trying to show in this illustration that the light is coming maybe from one side of the design, so let's say from the top for this case. So for that, at that point I might make the color lighter blue, just like that, and then on the bottom I will go for a darker blue. You can choose any color that you like, do not worry, you can experiment it out. So yeah, this is what it's given me. Just very light, very relaxed, nothing too crazy. If you want to make it a bit more interesting as well, you can again go on the wrap tool and just swirl it around again. So now the swirls are a bit less crazy, but because they're different shapes, you can just, and if you think they have become again too edgy, you can smooth it out again in this way, but I'm gonna leave it like that. Another thing that you can do is go back on these lines that we had made before and match it with the colors of the background. So maybe you can make it a bit more blue. That's what I'm gonna do, just a bit more darker, maybe not this is too purple, maybe just a bit blue, just like that. I'm gonna do the last thing, which is the flower. And the good thing about this is all you need to do is just make one flower, and we can repurpose it and just change the color, and you don't even have to change the color. We'll just use a different tool to make your life a lot easier. So a lot of times when there's too much noise happening, I just come here on the blank board and make a circle, and start the circle obviously. Press shift to make sure that all the radius is similar on all sides to get the perfect circle that you want. Now obviously the butt of the thing is not blue. We're gonna go for some nice yellow-ish color, maybe some orangey yellow. Could have just gone with my own color, never mind. I'm just gonna go with our own brand colors because that's what we're doing this time. Make sure that you check it with the background and see if it works. Don't worry if it doesn't work, we can change it again later on. So that is the bud. The next thing that we would do is make the petal. So obviously click, press Alt and drag it up. Make sure you don't leave the Alt until you're finished dragging, because that will not make a copy, that will just move your object. And then hold, using your direct selection tool, click one of the points, click it, move it down. Another thing I would like to do is just increase the thickness of it. Similarly, I'm just gonna change it a bit to how I want it to be. Maybe I'll make the base a bit thicker as well, just like that, because I want 6 around the thing. Alright, I'm gonna maybe move it a bit up, maybe move this a bit up. Good enough. Again, now how you rotate around the center is click on rotate, this option on the left hand side. Now if you press Alt and find the center of this circle, you can rotate this object around the circle. Sometimes it's difficult to find the center, so an easier way to do this is to get into wireframe mode. So that is Control plus Y. Now you can see the circle, center for the circle as well as center for the petal. Make sure you keep your Alt pressed, and then left click on the center And then now you can add however many petals you would like to add on the thing, and at what angle you would want it to be. So I'm going to go for 60, and I'm going to click copy. Forgot to select it, never mind. So make sure you select it, guys. Again, press Alt, left click, and you have 60. We're going to just copy, and then now you do Control plus D to duplicate it around the circle. So now you have a flower. Now to get back on normal mode, you go Control plus Y again, and now you're back. And you see you have this very nice shape. Sometimes I don't like it and I want to increase it, so I will increase. Oh no. 112. Just thickness of the circle a bit, because I want it to overlap underneath it. So I'm gonna just do that. 120. Perfect. Now if you put it on top of this, you can squeeze it a bit if you like. Just like that. Now it's very similar to what we have here. I might just select it all and scale it down. And just like that, I would also maybe select a few of the other petals and add some color variations to it. Maybe make it darker or have some yellows to it. Yeah, I like the yellow, the reds to it. Now you're almost there, okay? Just a few more things you need to do and then you're done. Bring this up so now it matches this. Last thing you want to do is also add some shadows around, because we've not added any shadows anywhere else. We're gonna just do that now. Press Alt, drag it up. Now you have a duplicate. Now we use the shape bevel tool. The shape bevel tool is a really cool tool, and I didn't know anything about this until I got a lot more into this Adobe Illustrator, and it made my life a lot more easier. So the best way to do this is, you have both objects selected, just click on this part of the object, make sure that they're both overlapping, and now this is a separate part. I can delete the top part and just change the color to make it look darker. So now we have a shadow. Now we do the same thing for all of them. I'm going to select both of these, do the same. Oh, it's not selected. Make sure you select all the objects, bro. Okay, this part. I might quickly forward this part for you, so you don't have to watch me suffer. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the shape and the color and the shading. So all I will do now is the last thing, which is distort this whole thing to make it look like it's floating on top, just to add some poof from the bottom, like there's some air, to make it look like it's not flat on the water, but it has more like a concave shape to it, if you know what I mean. So go on Object, go on Envelope Distort. Oh, I didn't select it, sorry. Okay, go on Object, go on Envelope Distort, and make Mesh. Now I'm going to keep the mesh very simple. Just going to do 2 by 2, 2 rows and 2 columns, because I just want this point. This is the main point. I'm going to, using the direct selection tool, click on this and drag it a bit up. So now it looks a bit like in perspective, even though it's not, you're just faking it. And if you want, you can just distort a few of the things. Don't worry about making it look completely similar in all directions, because it's a flower. It would not look similar in any way. If you want to, you can also go and experiment with some other tools as well on it. So now I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe this looks a bit too stretched out from here, so I'm gonna just do direct selection tool again, drag it a bit down, drag this a bit up like this, and drag this a bit up like this as well. Cool, that is done. That's all you needed, to be honest. If you want to not have the direct mesh anyway, and you want to make it an object, you can just put expand an object. Nice, so you're back at an editable position that you can change everything. Okay, and just like that, you have a flower. You can obviously make some shadows as well. Easy way to do is select it all. We're just having fun here, so combine it all using the compound tool. Then I would expand it again, and now I want it below the flower, so I'm going to send it back and just add some shadow to it, making it like this. You don't have to worry about it, just like that, and decrease the opacity on the left hand side, just like that. Maybe add a different color to it, tone to it, whatever, however you want to do it. Like, it is in the end your master creation, and you can play around with it as well. Just like that, we have one flower. I'm gonna just select it again, drag it like this, and then drag it again using the Alt tool, press it down so you can get it right. Gonna put it here in the middle, and now we have 3 flowers floating around. If you want to now change the color, select the flower, only select the flower, don't select the shadow. Now go on edit color, recolor artwork. So now you can experiment with a few of the variations, and you just play around with anything. You can go for a bit more crazy colors. You can have I like that one. I'm gonna keep that one, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, that's not, I don't like that one, so I'm gonna keep that one. It's like a lily pad, but not really. And I'm gonna do it again, edit colors, recolor. Oh no, so you'll see what I did this time. I selected the shadow as well. Don't do that, just select the flower. So in order to only select the flower and don't have to select all the petals, just group it up together. And now again, this time, because we already have used other colors, I want to go for something yellow and orange. I think this is perfect. So now we have 3 very nice colors. Another thing, if you want to do, is if you want to change this version of this, because it's very purple, too close to the blue, I'm gonna just change it to, just selecting that, I'm gonna change it to like more maybe yellow again. So just by dragging the wheel you can change the color, and then by dragging this part you can select the brightness of it. So I want to make it pretty bright. I think that's good. And now you can actually see all the different colors together. Just the last thing that we need is the petal. So what I would do for this is just copy, okay, select the petal, both with the shadow and this, copy, any petal will do, and then paste. Change a bit of the direction of it, change a bit of the shape, maybe not too much. Again, I would use the wrap tool, Shift plus R, to change it up a bit. I like that. Sometimes it would affect how the shape is, so you can adjust it a bit. And I want to change the color, so it's only one petal. I can easily change the color to anything I want. I'm gonna go with a very nice grassy green. Yeah, that's it. And the last thing I would do is add some shadow. For the shadow, you don't have to worry about adding a different color. Just select the same. Just color pick the shadow, and you will get the same effects and everything. Set it back, arrange, send back, and that's it. You have one petal. Gonna do another one. What you can do if you want is change up the shape a bit. I'll just drag it like this, drag this like this. Done. Color and shape changed. Can make it orange. Gonna make this a bit darker orange. Yep, done. Maybe drag it up a bit this side as well for the shadow. Don't have to be too pressed about it. Maybe we should have this color then, because there's orange. Yeah, I like that more. Now we're just like doing this easy stuff. And this is the easy part. We've already done all the hard part, and I'm pretty happy with it. If you want, you can also change the color how we did with the edit colors. I will show you that as well. Just gonna finish up this one, the last one. Make it very snoozy. Inverted petal. And again, I want to show you this again. So edit colors, recolor artwork, just drag it, and then we have our pink. Nice color. So that is all. That's all you need to do to get to a finished version of this. One last thing I would say, if you want to do this, is unlock all the layers. Because I like to do everything on different layers, I lock them all, and you can go on edit, recolor, edit colors, and recolor. Makes it so much more easier. If you want to lighten it up a bit, just drag it like this. It gets lightened. If you want to darken it up a bit, you can darken it just like this. You can also just reset it. Makes your life a lot more easier. So this is why I made it a bit greener, so the flowers can stand out, especially in this part. I want to do, should I do green or should I do blue? I think because I'm following our colors, I'm gonna just do a bit of blue. I'm gonna actually undo it. I'm gonna keep the original colors. And now all you need to do, because this is your separate artboard, you go on File, Export, Export for Screens, Artboard. And because there's only one artboard on this, you can export, you can rename this to whatever you want, and you can put it anywhere, and you can change your file types as well, and just export it, and you will have your design ready. You can use this as a screensaver, as a wallpaper, or you can just show it to your friends and say that you are an expert in Illustrator and they don't want to know. But based on what everyone was saying on TikTok and YouTube, it was not that hard, and you know it as well because you just finished making it. So if there's anything else that you would like us to make as well, let us know. Next week Tom will be back. We might be doing a recap of the full sale series, shipping sale series, and making a full version of it. So if you want to watch it all in one go, it'll be ready for you whenever you want to go. And if you have any suggestions of what we should make after that, let us know. If you want to see more 2D design work as well, you can let us know as well. But I spent a lot of time making a lot of short content, so you will see a lot of vectors on any of our short videos. So anytime you see anything that you like, you can always tell us and I can make a video for you and you can just follow along. But thank you so much and goodbye.